Chad Reed has begun his assault on the THQ AMA Supercross title in intimidating fashion. The Thunder from Down Under has established himself as the man to beat in the series' premier class. Honda's Kevin Windham has made a controversial return to Supercross racing. The Mississippi native captured a victory in Phoenix and has challenged Reed at every turn. It's Windham and Reed together again from San Diego. And we welcome you to San Diego, California's Qualcomm Stadium for the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. Rain clouds earlier in the day, but that has certainly not dampened the spirit of all race fans here. Hello once again, everybody. Todd Harris, along with the founder and editor-in-chief of the finest magazine in the business. Of course, I'm talking about Racer X and Davey Coombs. Davey, good to have you with us. The ball really is in Kevin Windham's court. Chad Reed wins one, Kevin wins one, Chad won last week. It's back to Kevin. Can he do it?
You know, I certainly think he can. On a track like we have here in San Diego, it's playing into Kevin's favor. He was going so fast in practice through the whoops yesterday that I think they sent the dirt work crew out there and said double the size of him, trying to even out a little bit. Also, Kevin Windham is coming off that really good ride at Phoenix. He had a good battle last week. His confidence is really high, and I think when he found out that Chad Reed's shoulder was hurting him again, had a little problem in practice, I think Windham right now is very confident. He'd be my favorite.
Well, it all leads up to the road to Vegas as we take a quick look at the point standings. First off, the THQ AMA Supercross Series standings, and it is Chad Reed who leads the table right now. Chad Reed has looked very good, but he's got Vuillemin, LaRocco, Windham, and Michael Byrne, the top 5 right behind him. As we go over to the THQ World Supercross GP point standings, it is a different story. It is Tyler Evans, followed by Huffman and Grant Langston. Big surprises there.
There sure is. You know what? That's a very interesting series because you look at those three guys. They each got a different story. Grant Langston, he's got a world championship. He's got a national championship. But he might be KTM's best hope for a Supercross championship this year. Absolutely. Then Damon Huffman, he's a veteran, riding for Moto XXX. This might be his last chance for a Supercross title. But man, Tyler Evans, who would have thought that the guy did freestyle for a living a couple years ago would be leading the World Supercross GP standings? Quite a story in Tyler Evans.
Story indeed. He's a true privateer, and we talked to him about the prestige of leading that point standings while holding down privateer status.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, the last 2 weeks have been really special to me because I am a privateer and I'm winning the World Supercross points. I mean, that's huge. A lot of people don't understand what it is to be a privateer. Privateer, we're working on all our own stuff, our own sponsors. We're getting everything. We don't get to fly into the races and fly out. I mean, we're driving, we're sleeping at the track. I mean, we are doing everything. So for a privateer to be at the top is pretty amazing. It's a good feeling.
We are almost set to go racing here in San Diego, California. Right now it's time for the MX Unleashed track experience.
We're going to catch a ride around Qualcomm Stadium with Joe Aloff, the Subway Racing MX team. There's your first turn. Come out right away into a rhythm section. A lot of different ways you can get through this, but you got to get down into this corner and then check out these whoops right here. When they first put them in, they were too easy, so Rich Winkler and the Dirtworks crew went back and built some big ones. Go through the whoops, hit a triple, and now from the inside of this corner, you can single and then double out, or you can get up on top of that tabletop, another section of whoops, and again, get down the bank turn here, and then another long rhythm section. Usually San Diego's a blue group, but they brought in some new dirt. It's going to be a totally different race tonight. Another bank corner, tries the inside line, now it comes back across the starting area, a little bit of flat ground racing. Here you can go inside or outside. He's got some traffic there. He's going to have to double. Normally do a triple there. I actually did get over and do a triple. Now to the inside, back across the starting area. Oh, almost got our front wheel there. This is the last corner, a bank turn, and then back across the finish line, and that's it for your MX Unleashed track experience.
Here's our starting grid, 250, heat number 1. Keep your eye on 12. David Vuillemin, Mike LaRocco's also there. Damon Huffman, the man who sits in second right now on the World Supercross points. And Tyler Evans and Grant Langston also in this fray. The 30 board is up here in San Diego, California. A lot of talent on that line and everyone trying to make it to the main event. We got 20 riders that are going to be going 8 laps, top 4 to the main as the 30 board goes sideways. It's that drop-down start. It looks like Davey Coombs, they've got it figured out. Mike Can he hold it?
He does. He was able to keep right off the, David Vuillemin there. He gets the whole shot. Vuillemin right behind him, but I have a feeling Vuillemin's going to be moving quickly.
Mike Brown, number 3, made the switch over to the Yamaha right. He is being followed right now by the factory right of David Vuillemin, number 12. And in talking with David Bailey, his coach earlier, he says the conditions are right for the Cobra to strike.
David put in a great ride in that main event last week at Phoenix, or rather Anaheim, at least for the first 10 laps. And then he admitted he kind of got scared. So I think he's got something to come out here and prove. And by the way, David rode some motocross this week, working on his speed. He was out riding with Ryan Hughes, of all people, doing a little bit of conditioning work. I think he just wanted to get his confidence built back up. And he always does well here at San Diego. It seems like he wins every other year.
Exactly right. As the green flag comes out, they go through. It is Brown, Vuillemin, and Clark Stiles in the top 3. Lacey's in 4th, Langston in 5th, Damon Huffman in 6th, and Mike LaRocco has slipped back to 7th. LaRocco almost getting the whole shot, but he slides back to 2nd. Had a chance to talk to his dad, Big Mike, who's nursing a bit of an injury. Wish him the best. He says Mike's running some new suspension tonight. Look for him to do some great things. But out in front, it is Mike Brown. As we take a look at the Tissot running order, Brown, Vuillemin, Stiles, Lacey, and Langston, the top 5. Mike Brown, number 3, in 1st. Number 12, David Vuillemin in 2nd.
You know, Mike Brown's had trouble qualifying in some of these 250cc Supercrosses, so he's off to a really good start. He looks pretty sharp on the Yamaha Troy YZ250. Holding off Vuillemin for 2 laps, a pretty impressive feat for a guy that's an admitted 125cc outdoor specialist.
Well, Mike Brown coming over from the 125. We talk about jumping into the Lion's Den, and that has got to be one of the biggest jumps. I think a lot of people waiting to see how James Bubba Stewart makes the jump from 125 to 250, but Mike Brown right now doing just fine. Thank you very much. 250 heat number 1, your leader, Mike Brown out of Tennessee, and here comes Vuillemin on the inside.
See, Mike Brown doing a good job of riding defensively there, keeping his line, going straight, going fast. Going to make it hard for Vuillemin to get around him. If Vuillemin's going to pass him, I feel it's going to be down one of these rhythm sections because Brown is more apt to make a mistake. Vuillemin, a very sharp rider. Here comes on the inside. Just blew what I said.
Well, I would have agreed with you because watching David Vuillemin go through the whoop sections, he had all kinds of different combinations that he could put down for any kind of situation. That time, he just didn't need it.
Yeah.
So David Vuillemin is out in front. Mike Brown now sits in 2nd. There you see the gap between them and Stiles, Langston, and LaRocco, the rest of the top 5.
You know, you'd never expect David Vuillemin to pass Mike Brown in a corner. I just want to get that in.
We're going to step aside, pay some bills. Your leader, the 250 heat number 1, David Vuillemin. Back in a moment. TVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. Welcome back to San Diego, California, Qualcomm Stadium. This is 250 heat number 1, and it is David Vuillemin, number 12, on board the factory Yamaha, who has overtaken Mike Brown. Mike Brown making a jump up from 125, got the whole shot, led for a lap or 2, and then it was all Vuillemin. As Davey Coombs pointed out, Vuillemin is such a master tactician. He used the corner that time to get the job done.
Yeah, you know what? I'm really liking that blue gear he's wearing. I know that he wanted to switch it up after the Phoenix incident or whatever we're calling that, but he looks pretty cool in that blue gear.
It's old school. It's David Bailey old school. It's the Bailey influence on him. Meanwhile, we shift back. Number 3 is Mike Brown, sits in 2nd, and he has got a man right behind him in Grant Langston, who is moving up.
They see Mike LaRocco fighting with Clark Stiles for that 4th and final transfer spot. Mike LaRocco able to come up. You know what? I expected LaRocco to come up through the pack a lot faster than he has. You're talking about his new suspension. What he needs is a new hole shot.
Yeah, no question.
I mean, it's a shame you just can't go to the bike shop and say, you know, I need a whole shot to win.
I want to buy something that will give me a whole shot. He is so due for a victory, not just a podium, but a victory. And I think a lot of people would like to see it as well. As David Vuillemin continues to lead, we're looking at Mike LaRocco talking to his dad. Big Mike was saying, I said, was he a natural athlete as a kid? He says, no. The only reason he got into Supercross really is because his older sister started doing it, and she was pretty good. He's thinking, well, there's no way I can let my sister do it, so he jumped back on the bike as we go back to the battle for 2nd. Number 3 is Mike Brown. Number 8 on the KTM is Grant Langston. Here's 2 guys we're used to seeing in the outdoor circuit on the 125. Oh, wow. Oh, Langston cases. We thought he salvaged it, unable to. And he goes down into a tough block.
Man, he just came up short. It didn't look like he was going to go off like that. He got back up, so it looks like he's okay, but he has to shake his confidence a little bit. Yeah, he's dropped out qualifying
3 spots, yeah. Let's look at it one more time. What went wrong for the number 8 bike?
Well, it looked like he compressed the suspension too much on the face down. You see, he was just short, gets his weight up over the front into the tough blocks, and that's it. He's lucky that wasn't a lot worse.
No question about it. He's lucky the bike was still running. Here he is now, Grant Langston, number 8, going right in front of Clark Stiles. And I don't know if you call that aggressive riding, but Davey, I know you come from the school of it's not rubbing, it's racing, and that's exactly what they're doing.
That was a pretty clean pass. I gotta admit, that was actually a really cool pass, but it's going to be hard to do that and then get to the main event when guys like LaRocco, Vuillemin, and certainly Kevin Windham. But right now, Langston's just got to get one more spot. Tyler Evans is now the 4th place rider. So the guy that he's competing with in THQ World Supercross GP is the guy he's got to pass just to make it directly to the main event.
Well, passing Tyler Evans on any occasion is not an easy feat. Doing it with just a lap and a half to go to qualify for the main event is going to be very enormous indeed. Tyler Evans currently sitting in 4th place. As Davey pointed out, that is the last transfer position. Grant Langston trying to close in.
Saw Mike Brown, looked like he was almost going to come up short on that jump, but 1 lap to go for Brown. He running 2nd. He's going to be pretty pumped about this. I know that it's not really possible. I mean, you're not going to bet on Mike Brown to get a podium in a 250 Supercross, but he's got to be thinking that he could get in the top 10 and hopefully the top 5 with a good start, and he showed he can get a good start. Mike Brown's had a lot of struggle in the 250 Supercross series, so good ride for him so far.
Well, if you're running the Boost Mobile Yamaha team, you're going to be happy because every week he's gotten better. He's shown signs of improvement every single week, and I think by the time we get back east, Mike Brown's going to really have something to hang his hat on.
Yeah, ever since we were over in Spain and he was winning that race until his bike detonated, it's been downhill since there. I wonder how different things would have been if he'd just finished that race, because he'd be in the record books. Check this out.
Now, I don't know if he learned that from David Bailey, but David Vuillemin comes around, picks up the victory with style. 250, heat number 1 goes to the Cobra. David Vuillemin picks up the win. Mike Brown will get 2nd. LaRocco holds on for 3rd, and Tyler Evans gets 4th. Unfortunately, Grant Langston's going to find himself in a semi-race. So the final results, 250 heat number 1, look like this. It is Vuillemin picking up the victory with style. Mike Brown gets a great 2nd place finish. Then it's LaRocco and Evans, the top 4 moving on. Grant Langston on his way to a semi with Sorby and style. Right now, let's send it down to the field and Robbie Floyd.
Well, David, you took the win, but how much fun did you have doing it? I saw a stand-up wheelie, a hill clicker there at the end.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun tonight, and, I got a great start, and, it's the first time I win a E-race this year, so I was really happy about it. I didn't have to go to semi, and, it's all about having fun, and I had a wave, hill clicker, and staying on the seat, and, the fans love it, so, and I enjoy it too, so it's good.
250 heat number 2 staging on the line as we take a look at our starting grid. There he is, number 22, Chad Reed, and look who's right next to him, his good friend, Kevin Windham. I'll tell you what, this race alone is worth the price of admission here at Qualcomm, Davey. With this field, with the track, everything you've talked about so far, what do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be good. There you see the view from the Subway MX camera of Joe Aloff. Hopefully, he's going to be up there close to this Reed and Windham battle.
250 heat number 2. Look at everyone gunning for that inside line, and it is number 14. Welcome to San Diego, Mr. Windham.
Man, he just let that big dog eat. He rolled off that plateau and got a massive hole shot. He can do that in the main event. He's going to be tough to beat. And look how fast he got through those whoops. Even though they changed him, tried to throw it up a little bit on Kevin, he had a hard time making that corner. He was going so fast.
So Kevin Windham gets the whole shot, and in the lead right behind him right now is number 26 of Byrne. Byrne sits in 2nd. Chad Reed now sits in 4th place. So this is the worst case scenario on this track for Chad Reed, and that's to let Kevin Windham get this kind of lead.
He's lucky this is a heat race, I can tell you that. But, Chad Reed is a smart man. I know that he's nursing that shoulder injury. We just got to see if he can just keep his cool and qualify. He might be saving himself, but then again, he's a competitor.
So it's Windham and Byrne going 1 and 2 as they come through. Chad Reed now moves up to 3rd. Darrell Hurley, the winner of our first race over in Europe, now sits in 4th. And Robbie Reynard, your top 5.
See Windham flying through the whoops. A lot of guys are trying to jump to him. He's one of the few guys to get up on top of him. Chad Reed, the 3rd place rider, was also able to do that. That's going to be the key. Anytime you race a Supercross race, it's how you get through the whoops. But tonight, it seems like the whoops are really separating the riders. You see Reed starting to pull up just a little bit on Mike Byrne.
Chad Reed, number 22 from Australia, on board the Yamaha, almost taking out those pit boards. Squares off the corner and comes back hard. And Michael Byrne, I don't think, has no idea what's behind him. Right now, let's check in with Robbie Floyd.
Hey guys, Heath Voss had some problems on the start. When he was going to take off, when he let out the clutch, the bike just died on him. He fired it up, he went to do it again, and it died. He didn't know what was wrong with it. He said he's going back to the pits to try and figure it out, but man, that's weird. I haven't seen anything like that.
So Heath Voss's evening ends quickly. Hopefully he'll get that back up. He'll go to a semi-race, and here comes Chad Reed, number 22, trying to shake up the order of the T-Cell running order. Look at Reed. Chad Reed.
I think his bike just seized.
He is just locked up.
Man, he is so lucky that didn't happen.
Right, in midair.
A half a second earlier on the face of that jump. Chad Reed, you talk about problems with Heath Voss's Yamaha. Unbelievable. The THQ AMA Supercross points leader.
He cannot even get it fired. I think it's just completely the back wheel, completely seized up.
You can see the chains on the bike. It might have, you know, they got to get that bike up to the pits if he's going to get ready for the semi. And you can see he knows it. He's at the far end of the stadium. He's got a long way to go.
So Chad Reed has a difficult evening. His Yamaha, very uncharacteristic. And you make a great point. We watched Chad in practice, and I think I asked you this earlier. When he's up in the air, he's always touching the throttle, making sure everything's running good. And this time, he comes down, and it just locked up.
This has been his toughest night so far. I can tell you that. He had problems with his shoulder. You see him waving at the crowd, but he's got to be thinking, what in the world is going on?
Kevin Windham continues to lead as Chad Reed's bike gets towed back to the pits. This is a story that will unfold all evening. Look at it one more time. We're back to San Diego in just a moment.
The best boat.
We are now taking you all access, courtesy of Honda. This week we're following the king, Jeremy McGrath, on his wide-open book signing tour.
Yeah, got the end of the shelf. Perfect. Right next to Kelly Slater, a couple Tony Hawk's books, Matt Huffman, all the studs. Here I am. Let's look around. Maybe we can sign one and put it back on the shelf, and no one will know. I don't think you know. The lucky guy who gets that one, I'm stoked. Okay. So there we are, right on the end.
Chad Reed off the bike and walking. He doesn't look too upset, but Davey, you make a great point. What went on here? And he saved himself.
I don't know, but watch this closely. You see him on the outside. The bike had a problem right there. Look, he grabs the clutch. He pulls the clutch in. He knew that that bike, that back wheel was locked up. That is skill. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't have the wherewithal to think that quickly in the air. And, man, that's impressive, and I'm just glad he's safe.
Oh, Chad Reed showing the master that he is on board that bike. Having the knowledge, you said, to pull in that clutch. Otherwise, he's going to probably go down in a heap.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I was talking about earlier, he was going to try and save that shoulder a little bit. He's going to have to go out and race the semi. Now, obviously, the pace will be a little different, but that's going to be more time, so maybe not what he needs. But I know Dr. Jeff Spencer is in his corner. You couldn't have a better guy back there helping you out. But right now, he's walking back to the pits, and he's got to be watching Windham thinking, I might have my hands full tonight.
Meanwhile, out in front, it's a tale of two evenings. Kevin Windham got the whole shot and has not looked back. He is your leader, number 14 on the AMSO Honda. Windham out of Mississippi. Somewhat of a revelation. He had so much time off for injury, breaking that bone. Now he comes back, and he picks up a victory on the second stop in Phoenix, Arizona, and Kevin Windham has been phenomenal.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's doing it on his terms this time. Kevin broke his leg, but he was burned out before that accident in Atlanta. And now he's back. He's got his family with him. He's got his own truck. He doesn't have the pressures of being a factory rider, although right now he's the only factory rider other than Mike LaRocco. Basically, the Honda has with Ernesto Fonseca getting hurt earlier today and Ricky Carmichael back home on the sideline. So definitely a different situation for Windham, and he's making the best of it.
is 17 is Robbie Reynard. He sits in 4th. That's a transfer position right now, but behind him is Daryl Hurley, the New Zealand rider, number 46, trying to close in on Robbie Reynard, number 17.
You see Ryan Clark a little further back in the picture, and also Nick Way. And I tell you, Team Suzuki's had a tough go of it so far. Who would have thought that Tyler Evans would be the highest finishing rider consistently? Nick Way's going to have to pick it up a little bit, but by the looks of it, he's going to be joining Mr. Reed in that semi.
Unbelievable. Right now, let's set it back down to Robbie Floyd.
Well, guys, I talked to Chad Reed as he was making his way up. Well, I tried talking to him. Mum's the word in the Yamaha camp. I said, it looked like they saw you pull in the clutch. Did you know it was going to lock up? He said, yep. I said, is it the motor or transmission? He just shook his head. You see one madman leaving the track. I'd hate to see him in that semifinal.
I'll tell you what,
Robbie.
I would be relieved if I was him. I mean, that...
Yeah, what could have happened?
Yeah, you hear horror stories, and if you're a rider, you know how that works out. But, wow, he's really lucky he did that. And you see now Nick Way's worked his way up around Daryl Hurley. But right now, Kevin Windham is really looking good.
The white flag is out for number 14, Kevin Windham. He got the whole shot, and he is putting on a clinic right now. My colleague, the all-knowing Davey Coombs, said this is a track that favors him, and you couldn't have been more right. Kevin Windham bringing it around for the final turn. Your winner, 250, heat number 2, number 14, Kevin Windham. Wow. Are you surprised at not only what happened with Chad Reed, but what he just went out and did?
Man, he just looks so good on this track. You see him rolling the outside of the corners. He looks comfortable. Vuillemin looked really comfortable.
Right.
He looks really comfortable. In the 125 class, we saw some comfortable guys, but Windham, look at him, man. He's just having fun.
So the official results, 250, heat number 2 from San Diego look like this. It's Windham picking up the victory, followed by Michael, Byrne, Ezra Lusk, and Robbie Reynard all qualifying. Nick Way on his way to a semifinal. Right now, let's send it back down to the field, and Robbie Floyd.
Well, K-Dub, the guy said this is a smooth rider track. You are that smooth rider. You and Vuillemin look very tough out there, but you come back all smiling, all as well.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's the best I've felt after a heat race, and my bike's working well. We've been working hard to get this thing going, and you know, Factory Connection, Honda, you know, Showa, everybody's been working so hard to especially get me through the whoops, and I think I was doing the whoops well tonight, and hopefully I can continue that into the main. And the track definitely has spots of loam, but spots of shine, so you got to be careful on the throttle.
Could you see the door open just a little bit more? Chad not in that race.
Yeah, I saw him pushing his bike back. I didn't know what happened, but he'll rebound. He'll be strong tonight, and looking forward to having a good battle with him as well as the rest of the Yamaha guys. And hopefully we can get Mike off the start and get him up there. He's been turning great times today in practice, and we'll get him up there with us.
And the upcoming 250 schedule is as follows. On the 31st, we make our third and final appearance at Edison International Field in Anaheim, California. On the 7th, San Francisco, California, and Pac Bell Park. And on the 14th, we got a journey away, so we're going to Houston, Texas, and Reliance Stadium. Right now, it's time for the Suzuki Question of the Week.
Who drives the Suzuki rig, and how hard is it to take care of?
I drive the Suzuki rig. My name is Derek Littlejohn, and I drive the 125 factory truck for American Suzuki. We travel approximately 40,000 miles a year. When I come to a race, I wash, wax, clean, set up, shop for supplies, and basically maintain everything that needs to be taken care of on the truck. And thank you for asking the Suzuki Question of the Week.
Derek Littlejohn, one of the hardest working men at Suzuki. Right now, it's time for our Thor qualifying highlights. In semi number 1, it was all Eric Vallejo picking up his first ever victory. Semi number 2, Davey, was a whole different story.
Well, the first guy to go down was Grant Langston. Comes up a little short on that jump, out into the tough box. And then Craig Anderson's in the qualifying position, too far outside, gets into the wall. And then check this out. Ryan Clark comes up short. Dale Hurley right into the back of him. Could have been a lot worse than that. Chad Reed takes the win, and it's Nick Way in second.
In the LCQ, everyone dashing for 2 positions. Joe Aloff got a great start, but Eric Sorby right next to him.
Aloff getting a little far outside, but he came back, was able to make the pass. They take 2 out of this. All Sorby had to do was finish second, but he let Rod Tane get by him, and then check it out. Hot Rod goes down, Sorby into the back of him. They basically hand the qualifying position to James Baboni.
As we take a look at our Thor qualifying highlights, Vallejo gets the big victory in semi 1. In semi number 2, it was all Chad Reed. And as Davey pointed out, in the LCQ, it was Joe Aloff. Those are your Thor qualifying highlights. When we come back, the main event from San Diego.
Some kids want to be motocross stars. Your kids want to be just like you. No matter what your age or ability, Suzuki's got you covered with a full line of off-road and trail bikes for you.
Welcome back to San Diego, California. It's the show you've been waiting for, the 250 main event. This is the THQ AMA Supercross Series and the THQ World Supercross GP from Qualcomm Stadium. Todd Harris along with Davey Coombs and Robbie Floyd as our riders take their final checks of the track. Number 57 is Joe Aloff. He will be running the helmet cam tonight. And I'll tell you what, he did a great job just getting into the main event. And he just happens to be our Nissan Rider of the Week.
My name is Joe Aloff. I'm 27 years old. I'm from Hesperia, California. I grew up in Ohio. I ride for the Subway Honda team on a CRF 450, and I'm 27 years old. It's pronounced Aloff, actually. It's spelled O-E-H-L-H-O-F. And it's been a problem for me since growing up, so I don't know, I'm just kind of used to it. I take Olaf, Aloff, anything close is good for me. I've been racing since I was 4 years old. I'm 27 now, so 23 years. It's a long time. It's basically all I've been doing, so but I love it, so I wouldn't rather do anything else. My team's basically it's a privateer team, but we get a lot of help from a lot of great sponsors. We get a lot of help from Honda. No factory parts, we're it's just one guy that put it all together, so it's a good team. But it's not a factory team, so it's kind of a step under a factory team.
And we wish Joe Aloff all the luck in the world, especially since he's carrying that expensive camera on his melon. As we take a look at our Suzuki starting grid, take your pick, folks. Kevin Windham, David Vuillemin, Michael Byrne, and the rest of the crew. Chad Reed not getting the best start, but we have got the 30 board up, and we have got a great race on the line for you tonight. Let's check in with Robbie real quick.
Hey, guys, normally when you qualify for the main and the semifinal like Chad Reed did, you get a bad starting pick. But look who's next. The heat race winner, Kevin Windham. So all things are not bad. The Yamaha captain pretty much got the pick he wanted.
All right, thank you, Robbie. And for a guy who pretty much had to put a new engine in his bike, not a bad way to end up your evening. As we go on board with Joe Aloff. Again, he'll be running the helmet cam. Not the best position, but hey, he's in the big show, and that's all that counts.
I'll tell you what, Chad Reed was sandwiched between a couple 450 Hondas. It may have looked good, but maybe not.
This is the 250 main from San Diego, California.
And it looks like it's Chad Reed right up the middle. It was a perfect starting position. David Vuillemin second, and then here comes Windham down on the inside.
Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a great ride. Chad Reed picks up the Butterfinger hole shot. Right behind him is number 14, Kevin Windham, and this should be a great battle. The law firm of Reed, Windham, and Vuillemin is on board 1, 2, and 3.
There comes Windham on the inside. A nice drive, and he gets his bike over there, and he wasn't able to block enough. But wow, Windham already asserting himself, and Damon Huffman just moved into third. And that's the funny thing. Those are the three guys that Robbie was standing behind. Reed, Windham, and Huffman. Well done, Robbie.
Robbie Floyd, take him to Vegas with a little bit of cash and see what he can do for you. Meanwhile, out in front is Chad Reed as the green flag gets set to come out. This is the 250 main event. We're going 20 laps, and it should be a very interesting 20. Reed, Windham, and Huffman, 1, 2, and 3, with David Vuillemin now sitting in fourth place. Keep your eyes out front. Your leader, Chad Reed, if you were with us earlier in the evening, in his heat race, his engine seized up right at this point. He pulled the clutch in, and they had to bring it down, and now the problem is not his engine, but number 14, Kevin Windham, is just matching him.
This is where he tried to pass him on the last lap. This time, Kevin can't get to the inside quick enough. Reed's able to hold on, but I'm telling you, Windham is just absolutely flying through those whoops. I cannot believe how fast he gets through them at the end, especially now they've broken down a little bit.
This is a situation we normally see Chad Reed, and he plays the stalker sitting in second place, waiting for a mistake. And it's interesting to see how he will react with someone like Kevin Windham's ability, putting the pressure on Chad Reed.
Well, Kevin Windham told Cameron Steele or rather Jamie Little after the race race last week that he liked being in second. He didn't like leading that race. Led the first 9 laps, got a little uncomfortable. This is exactly where he wants to be. Let's see what Reed does with the pressure.
I'll tell you what, if I was going to put some pressure on one person out here, it would be Chad Reed. He handles it so well. He is so cool. And look at this. Here comes Windham one more time. There is less than a bike length between him, and Windham goes to the inside.
That time he blocked him well. Kevin Windham is just gunning it through these whoops. I cannot believe that. And now he's got the lead. Now he goes to the lead a little bit later than last time. Last time he was out front early. Now it's Reed's turn to be the stalker. You know what? They're starting to gap the whole field.
No question about that. Out in front, Kevin Windham, now your leader, Chad Reed, comes in very tight right there. Just shows him a little bit of wheel just to let him know he's there. But I think the lessons learned last week in Anaheim will serve Kevin Windham well. He did not like running out front, having Chad Reed haunting him that whole time. Gave him a little taste of his own medicine, and here comes Chad Reed. Let's see how he likes the second place position.
Well, I hope Reed pays attention when they go through this next section, because Windham has gone faster than him all 3 laps through there. Right there, Reed's going to have to get faster.
Let's take a look at our Butterfinger hole shot replay. One more time, Chad Reed right in the middle.
Right down the middle. He got such a good jump off that start. And you don't expect that when you sandwich between a couple forward strokes like that, especially good starters like Windham and Huffman.
I think he might have taken the Dirtworks guy out to lunch to find out exactly the key to finishing that thing off, and he did it. He slingshot out of that corner. Back to racing action. Here it comes again. Kevin Windham, how quick did he exit that corner? That was amazing. Windham holds on to the lead with Chad Reed right behind him.
He had to, because Reed was coming in hard. I tell you what, Reed's getting into the corners quicker, but Windham's getting out of him quicker. And Mike Brown, after that good start to run the heat race, goes down, and he's back in dead last.
Chad Reed is all over the back of Kevin Windham. There you see the lap times coming through, and Chad Reed, number 22, is making this very interesting. And I don't think, you know, a Ricky Carmichael, Ricky hates to be in second. There's no question about it. He doesn't care if it's the first lap or the 19th lap. Chad is okay, I think, right here. It looks like he's riding with a lot of patience, just watching what Kevin's doing, and I guarantee he's learning something every time.
Well, there's no better person to learn from than Kevin Windham, I can tell you that. But, you know, I think these guys are actually enjoying this race. I think they both know that they're not going to take each other out, especially after what happened in Phoenix. It's just a case of getting out there, riding your dirt bike. 2 best Supercross riders in the world on the track right now.
Well, I'll tell you who is enjoying it. The 61,000-plus fans here at Qualcomm Stadium. Kevin Windham shows them a little space. Chad Reed unable to get in there. Does Reed go to the inside? No. It's Windham who will lead them to the whoop section. And this time it's Chad Reed showing some speed.
Those guys flying in formation like that, that is just such a neat look. Such a cool thing to be able to ride with that much confidence next to someone. I think right now they're just going to play with each other for a little while. Let the few laps get into the books, and then they're really going to go at it.
Well, the boys in the Blue Angel jet fighter pilots might want to talk to them, because the formation they're flying right now is amazing. Right now, let's check in with Robbie.
Guys, just a personal observation. I think you're exactly right. I think Chad Reed is just biding his time. I'm watching him. He's just watching, waiting for a mistake like Kevin. But it's ironic. You talk about how smooth this track is, the great dirt. Nobody's any smoother, or no one's any smoother than Kevin Windham and Chad Reed on the Supercross track. David Vuillemin, the other rider. Smooth track, smooth riders. Right now, Reed is just waiting for that one mistake.
Well, you wonder why those guys rolled those jumps. We had a rider down, and that was Tyler Evans, World Supercross GP points leader, and he's going to be the next rider they pass. That's why they didn't double or triple through that section.
So Kevin Windham continues to lead. How long will it last? Chad Reed currently sits in second. David Vuillemin now in third. We have got a great race on our hands, folks. Don't go away. It's the 250 main from San Diego, California. Make sure you're back for this one. Back in San Diego, California, it is one of the greatest battles in the 250 class. Chad Reed and Kevin Windham. Windham is your leader, but just moments ago, Chad Reed momentarily took the lead by a half a wheel length, but the big 450 drove right back in front. Kevin Windham right there, number 14, your leader. Here it is one more time while we're at commercial.
Windham just goes a little bit to the outside. Reed gets underneath, but check it out. He can't pull out of that corner as fast. Windham's able to make the pass stick. Keep an eye on that corner as the laps count down. Right now, we've got 8 to go.
It is a long race, 20 laps. and Kevin Windham has led almost all of them, but he has not had the greatest lead. It has all been about a bike length that they have come through. Chad Reed has shown him wheel every opportunity, and I know a lot of people here, ourselves included, Robbie Floyd, thinking Chad Reed may be the snake laying in the grass tonight.
Well, I tell you what, these guys are like, it's like they're dancing out there. They're just having a good, fair, clean race and setting each other up. It's almost like a chess match. I think Windham knows where he's faster, and that's through the whoops. But Reed knows he's got his number in that corner. And keep an eye on the corner after the finish line, too. Reed can slide in underneath.
What is amazing about both these riders, and I guarantee not only are they accomplishing amazing things out there, defying gravity at high speeds, risking their life, but right now Chad Reed and Kevin Windham are going through their minds, what do I need to do to stay in my position? What do I need to do to make a pass? They are calculating, and with just 8 laps to go through this race, Chad Reed is trying to find a spot where he's going to pounce. Kevin Windham trying to find the spot where he can pull away just a little bit, and that's what he's doing right now.
And right through these whoops right here, Windham's been fast all night long, but he's got to stay in that rut. You saw that time his back wheel kicked out. He kind of missed it. Reed was able to gobble up a lot of yardage on him, make it close again.
David Vuillemin is coming up in third. He's still about 50 yards back. You'll see him coming into your picture momentarily. There he is. He will make this interesting if he can get up there. But right now, the lap times that they are turning are all 51. Windham, Reed, and Vuillemin are the only riders turning 51-second laps.
Every time they go to this corner, Chad Reed gets to the inside. Remember, that's right before the finish line. And now they have 8 laps to go. Sorry, I missed my count up there earlier, but things are happening so fast down there between these two guys. It's almost confusing. It looks like we're watching the same lap over and over and over. Reed pulls up on this corner. Windham pulls away in those whoops.
Pardon our enthusiasm, folks, but this is one of the best races we've seen all year. We've seen a lot of guys checking out in races where we've had to cover second, third, and fourth to give you some excitement. Right now, it is 1 and 2. The big dogs have certainly come out to play at Qualcomm.
See Windham trying to stay on the inside, and right here Reed gets really aggressive, and this surprises me because I thought Windham would be faster through the turns all night long, but every lap he gets a little closer. Look at this, he's going to try the inside this time. He's got him. He got him. And then Windham slingshots back. Now see if he can make the same move. Almost.
Oh my! Kevin Windham in second. Does he have to drive on the inside, and he gets it right back. Chad Reed comes back. Who's going to triple out of this? Both of them.
And Windham's got the inside, but look at that. He gave him away. That was a good move there. He didn't want another 10-point penalty, and he could have knocked him all the way into the ocean right there if he'd have wanted to.
So Kevin Windham playing it smart this time, cannot afford a dock penalty on aggressive riding. Now the mission becomes, does Chad Reed say, you know what, I was playing with you the whole time. I'm laying out. I don't think so, because Kevin Windham is not letting him get away. An amazing race tonight in San Diego, California with just 6 laps to go. It's the 250 main. Chad Reed now is your leader. Kevin Windham hot on him with that 450 just working overtime. And that is your race right now. It's Reed and Windham doing battle. We'll be back for the conclusion right after this short break. Back in San Diego, California, your leader now is Chad Reed. Kevin Windham dealing with some lap traffic right there, so he has actually fallen back just a little bit. And here's where Chad Reed is absolutely deadly. Do not let him get away, and Kevin Windham is going to do everything he can on board that big 4-stroke to reel him back in and hopefully look for position to make a pass. We are coming down to the final few laps in this, the 250 main, and it has been a good one.
You know, that cut and run style you were talking about, that was Jeremy S. McGrath had the amazing ability to do that. You know, Carmichael's never really dominated a race. Ricky just wins by as much as he has to, but Chad Reed, man, he just got one good lap there. Got a lapper between he and Windham, and he took off. That was it.
So Chad Reed has a bit of a lead. Kevin Windham sits in second. David Vuillemin is in third very comfortably. Then it's Michael Byrne, and Huffman sits in fifth. Mike LaRocco has slid back to 6th place, and Grant Langston now sits in 7th.
I'll tell you what, if Vuillemin had been with those guys a little longer at the beginning, if he'd have been able to stay with them, we might have had a 3-way battle tonight, but David let him get away, and, you know, When two guys are working together like that, battling each other, learning each other's lines, it's hard to reel them in.
Well, I talked to his coach, David Bailey. He said if this guy's in the top 4 with just a few laps to go, look out. I think the scenario, though, is not what David was thinking, where he would be right there. He is so far back right now in 3rd place comfortably, but Michael Byrne sits in 4th place having his problems. He is not even close to David Vuillemin, so they've really spread out. 1 and 2 are kind of having their own little race right now with Chad Reed out in front and Windham sitting in 2nd, and Windham is now starting to fall off the pace just a little bit of Chad Reed.
You see Michael Byrne having his best outing so far on the Kawasaki. He's moved up into 4th place. He's got LaRocco coming up behind him, but Mike Byrne had a good battle going there earlier with Damon Huffman, but Huffman had a spill, and now Byrne, pretty good control, 4th position. He's not going to catch Vuillemin, but he's got to stay ahead of this guy right here, Mike LaRocco.
Mike LaRocco changed in his suspension, this week, talking to his father. He felt like this might be the week for Mike, and you know, picture of consistency is Mike LaRocco. He's got to get that hole shot down, and I think he can do some serious damage to the top of the field, but LaRocco's still looking for that hole shot. He sits comfortably in 5th.
Man, he's been looking for it, Todd, for 14 years. It's been a long time, and it's a shame, too. That guy would have so many more wins if he'd have just started half as much further up in the field as he does.
No question. Such a talented rider.
He's got some staying power. I'll give Mike LaRocco that.
This is it, your final lap. Chad Reed on the white flag, and he has got about an 80-yard lead right now on Kevin Windham. Cut and run, and that's what the Australian has done. He's got time for a whip and then some.
I'll tell you what, that was almost too much of a whip.
Jim Perry's probably freaking out right there.
Yeah. Chad Reed just put in a really great ride. He outsmarted and outboxed Kevin Windham. He got Windham to show him his best stuff. He figured out where he could pass him a few times. Oh! And a rider goes down right in front of Windham. Thought that was Kevin Windham, but Chad Reed just rode a strategically perfect race tonight. You see him checking his bike out. He went through a lot with the shoulder, with the transmission, but there he is. He's going to win again.
Your winner in the 250 main event, Chad Reed picks up a victory. But a hard-fought second goes to Kevin Windham, and I think both those guys should be happy with the performance tonight. I know Windham won't be happy with second, but what a show. If you happen to tape this show or watch it, you just saw textbook racing. Look and learn. Racing still is on. Michael Byrne comes through. LaRocco comes through. Byrne will get 4th. LaRocco will get 5th. Give credit to David Vuillemin. He goes on to the podium. What an impressive performance, though, for Chad Reed. We talked about the shoulder. He had the bike that seized up. Both those guys should take a victory lap, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Everyone, San Diego tonight, again, they saw an instant classic. What a good duel that was. Clean racing, too.
The best in the business is Chad Reed right now. What a performance. When we come back to San Diego, California, we'll talk with that man and recap the evening that was after this. Welcome back to San Diego and Qualcomm Stadium at the conclusion of the 250 main event, and what a main event it was. A tremendous performance by all. Right now, let's send it down to Robbie Floyd.
David, you finished 3rd, but man, you had a little problem early on. Tell me about it.
I got a great start. I was 3rd behind Kevin and Chad, and you know, we got like in a corner all 3 together. We made a mistake, and I could not jump the rhythm, and Huffman passed me, and it took me like 4 or 5 laps to pass him, and after that, like those 2 guys were kind of going, and after that, they did not jump the triple, and I came around, and the light were off, and I jumped it because it was okay for me to jump, so I got a little time on it. But you know, so it was a good race. I'm happy with the team. I'm happy Chad won, and you know, see you next week.
All right, thank you, Robbie. Congratulations to David Vuillemin as we take a look at our Honda 250 main event results. It is Chad Reed, followed by Kevin Windham, David Vuillemin, Michael Byrne, and Mike LaRocco, your top 5. What a great performance by all these racers, all the way down the board. Nick Way finishing in 7th, a great job for him. Damon Huffman in 8th. And Eric Vallejo, well done to him. Right now, let's send it back down to Robbie Floyd, who's with our 2nd place finisher in Kevin Windham.
Well, K-Dub, I don't think I've seen a race like that in a long time. It looked like you were evenly matched, but that one-lap rider cost you a little bit. Was that the key factor?
Yeah, right before the strip we were running inside, and I kind of lost my drive, and you know, kind of
he didn't go for it either. I didn't really know what was going to happen, and at that point I just decided to back out, and that was pretty costly. But Chad rode great, and you know, it was really fun there the first, I guess, maybe 14, 15 laps. I don't know how long I stayed in front of him, but it was really a good ride, and felt great to put on a good show for the fans. And my 450 is working great. I can't wait to get up there to the front.
You had a great ride, and congratulations on second. Thanks a lot.
Well done, Kevin Windham, on giving us a great performance. It's the road to Las Vegas, the official destination of Supercross, as we take a look at all our points. First up, the THQ AMA Supercross Series points. Chad Reed atop the board, looking very good. But as we flip the page over to the THQ World Supercross GP, things are moving quite a bit. Tyler Evans is still in the hunt, but look at Huffman making moves. Grant Langston is up there. It's going to be a great race all the way down to the finish. Speaking of great finishes, let's go down to Robbie Floyd, who is with number 22, Chad Reed.
Well, Chad, you take the win here in San Diego. That had to be a fun race. You and K-Dell were going at it back and forth.
Definitely, you know, it was a lot of fun just to go that many laps, you know, battling, and the crowd loved it. And last weekend we had a close race as well. So, you know, definitely the sport's taking a turn. You know, the first two races were runaways, and lately it's just been awesome. So, you know, I want to give a shout out to my team for getting my bike out there, you know, getting a good whole shot. All the guys at Parts Unlimited, Bridgestone, everybody did an awesome job. I want to thank them.
You had no breaks at the end.
Yeah, you know, we definitely had our fair share of problems this weekend, but, you know, it's awesome to come away with the win. You know, I've never actually gone to the semi and actually won the main event, so I'm pumped to get that out of the way, you know, not winning the heat race, but still coming back and winning the main.
Well, you did it tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Robbie. Chad Reed, a class act, and I got to tell you, without brakes, going through an engine, Davey, it's impressive. As we take a look at our next show on the 1st of February, 6 p.m. Anaheim, California, on the 1st, as well at 7 p.m. right after the 250 main event. Davey Coombs, it's been great having you, and you got to be impressed.
I was. You know what? Chad Reed is much more stronger mentally than I ever thought.
Well, that wraps things up from Qualcomm Stadium. On behalf of Robbie Floyd, well done, and the legendary Davey Coombs, I'm Todd Harris saying good night. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Good night from San Diego.